Tom Curran, Patriots insider, NBC Sports Boston, joining us on the program. Tom, what was the mood like when you went to the Patriots camp yesterday?
I think it was anticipatory of a fairly tense day. Interesting, when you go into the Bill Belichick press conference, you understand how it was going to unfold, and it unfolded pretty much as expected. But in the locker room, players are guarded but understanding of this circus is going to go on because they've seen some circuses in the past over the last 10 years, 20 years if you're Tom Brady, and they know how to approach it.
Drew Rosenhaus, Antonio Brown's agent, went on ESPN yesterday, and he alluded to the fact that he and Antonio Brown knew that there was a possibility of this lawsuit coming, their way. Did the Patriots know about this prior to signing Antonio Brown?
That's what I really think we need to get to the bottom of, because the Patriots on Monday and into Tuesday into Wednesday, expressed surprise to both Adam Schefter, Andy and Rappaport, and then again Charles Robinson in a story for Yahoo Sports stating sources say both the league and the Patriots were surprised by this. Mm-hmm. So that leads me to believe this, Dan. Either Drew Rosenhaus was not asked, and that means the Patriots weren't doing due diligence on a guy who really needs due diligence done on. The Patriots did ask, and Rosenhaus lied. Or Rosenhaus was asked, told the Patriots or a segment of the Patriots, an arm of the Patriots, what was going on, and that message didn't pass all the way through the organization. And now they have a situation, the Patriots do, where their brand is attached to a player who's attached to a lawsuit.
The NFL is all about their image, their perception. The right thing to do, not necessarily fairness, but the right thing to do would be to sit Antonio Brown down, I'm guessing. Is that the smart thing, the right thing? And that doesn't mean it happens, but what do you think the NFL is going to do, if anything, before Sunday?
I think it's neither the smart thing nor the right thing to do, simply for this reason. I understand how repellent the accusations are, but they remain accusations. And I think what the Patriots are looking at very strongly, and the league has to consider, is there is no criminal investigation ongoing. It's a civil litigation. It's he said, she said. So for Roger Goodell and the NFLPA and all the players in the league and Bill Belichick himself, you have to weigh what rises to the level of me taking a player and quarantining him without any cause necessarily except an accusation. And I think that's something that Bill Belichick has to weigh as he goes through this week. Okay, we'll put him on the practice field because we don't have any reason to take him off the practice field because it's not what we would call yet a substantial allegation that has involved law enforcement. Because every player in there, regardless of Antonio Brown's background, is looking to say, will you do this to me if someone comes with an allegation that may or may not be substantiated and there's no law enforcement involved?
So do you think, you said the Patriots didn't do their due diligence. Is it up to the Patriots to say, hey, you got any lawsuits coming up before we sign you?
I don't know if they didn't do their due diligence, but if they didn't ask and they did know, meaning the Brown camp, and they went ahead and signed him anyway, that to me, yes, it is. The onus is on the Patriots, Dan, for one simple reason. What happened in 2013, the Patriots promised it would never happen again with Aaron Hernandez. They said they were duped. They said they were made to be played the fool by Aaron Hernandez. They, tore their robes and expressed so much just apologizing over and over for what they missed. And they should have, because it wasn't that hard to find, especially after the incidents post-arrest that people began to relate that he was involved in. So, yes, the Patriots, above all teams, should be asking that question.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a relationship. It's a business relationship. Doesn't Drew Rosenhaus want to say that? Well, the Patriots have signed Antonio Brown if they knew that there was even a whiff of a lawsuit coming his way, and it was based on sexual assault and or rape.
I think the football side of the organization would have. I don't know if the ownership side would have thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Bill Belichick. Yeah, but don't you think? I mean, if you think about it, Robert Kraft is embroiled in something in South Florida that is ongoing, that he apologized for kind of a blanket apology for the situation. They don't want to have themselves, nor should anyone want to have themselves, affixed to anything that suggests sexual violence, violence towards women, treating women as objects. And this is regardless of how substantial the allegations are. And we continue to look at that as to whether or not they are substantial in terms of what the alleged victim is bringing. But it's probably might not have been a bad idea to wait it out if you were the ownership. But on Bill Belichick's side, if he didn't think it was substantial and was told about it, I could see him saying, we're just going to plow ahead with this.
Talking to Tom Curran, Patriots insider, NBC Sports Boston. Here is a clip from yesterday's press conference with Bill Belichick, and he's done talking about Antonio Brown.
Can you tell us at all what Antonio Brown has said to you?
Yeah, I'm done with that. Okay. Anything else on Miami?
Done with it in what way, sir?
Any other questions?
Can you explain what you mean when you're done with it? We're just trying to find out if he said anything to you about his position and about the allegations.
Yeah, and I just answered that question.
Well, actually, you didn't.
Actually, I did.
How did that feel?
I know you are, but what am I?
But the fact that he followed up by said, no, you actually didn't. Who did that? Who was the reporter?
It was a CNN reporter. And you know what? Look, I've had to sit in there for a lot of press conferences, including the Deflategate press conference on the Saturday before the Super Bowl, and take all the slings and arrows and be the first guy over the battlements to, charge the podium with my questions and get shot 97 times in the chest. I was happy to let the news guys handle this yesterday. Happy.
You didn't ask a question with Belichick yesterday?
No, those guys were on a roll. Those guys were rolling. I asked the question the day before on the conference call about Antonio Brown and his disruptiveness and whether or not how the team reconciled that. And that's when Belichick said, well, you guys said the same thing about Randy Moss. Certainly, this is not shaping up to be the same type of a situation as Randy Moss within 72 hours of the guy being signed. And I think it was a disingenuous comparison in the first place. I don't know if our reaction was the same, but I do know the player, in this instance, Antonio Brown, is still less than a week removed from MF and his GM and threatened him to punch him in the face out in Oakland. Randy Moss, for all his ridiculousness, didn't have that immediately in his rearview mirror when he joined the Patriots.
Yeah, I thought it was unfair to lump Randy Moss in with Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown feels like he's unhinged a little. I think I would have genuine concerns for him. He's acting erratic. And that's, Randy Moss wanted out of Oakland, but Randy Moss, by I think all accounts, was a pretty good soldier there in New England and produced a lot, was great. Antonio Brown's not even playing yet, and he's bringing in even more drama here. So I think it's unfair to Moss to lump him in with Antonio Brown.
The only person, and again, you're right, we sit here and we look at this individual and his behavior and look at him in the context of this sport, but I think it's unavoidable, even for armchair psychologists, which we all are, to not at point step back and say, I don't know if this guy's well. And when someone's not well and their life is chaos and it's another wave hits the beach, sadly, you think anything could be in play with that individual. And that's what's honestly scary to me. The only person I can think of similar to this is Terrell Owens. And his later admissions of how at wit's end he was and the things that he contemplated. It's scary. And this is where the football and the organization and the limelight intervenes. How is this person going to change? Because I think we all know that change doesn't happen just by going from Oakland to New England and having a more organized organization. It takes a lot of time and self-work and intervention and mentorship. And I don't think that this is a person who's about to make a sea change in the way he leads his life.
If we talk on Monday, what are we talking about with the Patriots?
Boy, man. Well, they were able to club the Miami Dolphins 33-7. And Antonio Brown had 3 catches for 81 yards. no touchdowns. They kept him out of the end zone, but he did speak briefly after the game, talked about just how happy he was to be in New England, but that was about it.
And
Didn't
no
get
drama.
into his, no specific drama during the game. No, a lot of hugs, a lot of embraces.
Tom, good
Reasonable?
to talk to you. Yeah, I think it. I mean, I guess I don't know. I wonder what the NFL is thinking right now, today, as we speak.
Callous as it may be, I bet the NFL is absolutely rooting for something concrete to emerge from law enforcement that makes their job easier. Because they don't want, as Mike Florio wrote yesterday, another week of, as the Antonio turns, to dominate the second consecutive week of their 100th, season as it opens up.
Yeah.
So they'd love to find a way, but there's a union there that's going to sit and say, you can't do that. You just can't do what you're trying to do here.
Thank you, Tom. Have a good weekend. We
All right,
appreciate your time, bud.
Take care.
That's Tom Curran, Patriots Insider, NBC Sports Boston.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.